Welcome to another Mind, Body, Spirit panel. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights, experiences, and a lot of high vibe love to share with all of us. We've got three really special experts, guests coming on today. Now, they've been on individually for the main show, Angels, Positivity, and Love, the APL Spotlight Series, I believe. We have two PhDs here. Let me try to get through the intros rapidly, and we're going to get these three talking. That's what this is all about on the panel. So we've got Dr. Pontea DIanati out of the San Diego area, doctorate of psychology, but no longer in terms of that. She's a full-time energy healer, spiritual teacher. She's wonderful, super concise, clear with her communications. I love having her on. We also have, I should say, Dr. Mona Sobhani, PhD, neuroscientist, has a book out on spirituality, has been there and done it on the scientific front, but intuition, and I'd say a healing streak, runs generationally in her family. So we've got to get her talking as well because she has a lot to share. And finally, out of Germany, we have Marisol Ximenez-Carrillo. She's not just a singer, sound healer, spiritual teacher, very connected, hyper energetic. I just love her energy. So welcome to all three of you. Great to have you on and great to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. So happy to be here.
Mankind, the big picture, trillion-dollar question, what's going on in the globe right now? In a way, it's a reflection of something about the journey from whatever's going on up here, external knowing, stuff like that, to the heart and a broader journey. Can we have one of you just put your hand up and talk to us about the hero's journey, really, that we all face? Not everybody steps up, but they can at any point. Who wants to talk about the big picture? What's this all about for mankind and each of us individually to embrace perhaps more love, compassion? I can just pick someone. Marysol, let's volunteer you.
Yes, there really is so much going on collectively and individually. And I think we all know that we're moving through something really profound that we maybe have never moved through in this way. And that the bigger picture, I think, is a good picture. Like, I think we're headed to something good, but we are moving through the birth channel. So it's kind of like we can't take our baggage anymore. And it gets more and more difficult to not be authentic, to not be of the heart. Like, it just shows so much more quickly. So I think we're really called to let go of those layers, let go of the old, and not be afraid to show up as we are, be authentic. And the beauty of that is that we're also different. And when we come together, it just creates the whole. And so I think, because many people ask me, well, what can I do? Look at the stage of the world. But it really does come down to us, because if we can find a sense of peace in our own being, if we can treat ourselves with kindness and compassion, then that ripples out and it changes the collective field. So I think it's always down to looking at ourselves. How are we stepping into the world? How am I treating myself? How am I showing up? So I think, Pontea, you said in one interview that I saw with you, you spoke about that you see the possibility of something really good, but you see these challenging years. And I agree, like, we do have to move through these challenges, and it is up to us, I think, how we create that and how fast we move into something new. So I believe it is a creation process that we all play a part in, and no one's above the other. Like, we're all a piece of that puzzle. So yeah, I think it's also about courage, just courage, also having fun, honoring your humanness, the days where you just feel like this is not my day, like, honor that as well, and help each other walk this path together and see where you can be of assistance to others. I think that's really important.
Thank you. Pontea.
Yeah, so I agree with everything she said. It's right on point that, we are in the birth canal and that we should be all helping each other and that the baggage is all coming up to be cleared. And that's why it looks kind of messy at the world level right now, because everything is coming up. And to speak to the hero's journey question, Joseph Campbell talked about the hero's journey. He wrote a book called The Hero of a Thousand Faces. So we're all the hero of our own story, and we're going through these different stages, right? So it's like the beginning of the story is when we first realize, like we start to awaken. And maybe we meet a mentor and they start to like take us off the path, going from the science world to the spiritual world, kind of like Mona has as well, which is like, you realize, oh my God, maybe there's more to this world than I thought. For me, the clinical psychology background. And so then we end up getting tests and we get allies and we get like, people that are shadow figures. And so as we make it through those tests and allies, at some point we get the sword. And the sword is like, basically we get like a gift, kind of like King Arthur gets the sword, but then now he has to do something with it. You can't just hold the sword. And then eventually it's the elixir, which is what the medicine that we bring for the world through our own hero's journey. We now have an authentic medicine to share. So I think the whole world is going through that. And I think if all the light workers bring the elixirs, we can really change the world for the better.
Mona, we're going to
Yeah.
ask you for a follow-up on all this.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give a slightly different answer. I mean, I agree with everything they said, but I'm going to take it to another level. I love like a more collective and then intellectual level to make a point. So, I've noticed that, I used to be this person too. So I noticed the conversations that I have with, the old people in my life, the people I've known my whole life. It's, super intellectual, super educated, highly educated. What's it called? Like, highly educated overachievers. Like that when we talk about what's going on, they can't make sense of it, right? And and you watch it on the news shows, the analyses, what's the reason? What's the root of this? How could this happen? How did we miss it? Um, and of course, it's super complicated in general. Even if it was an intellectual thing that you could come to, like there's always multiple factors. But and I listen carefully to the people around me to hear what they say to remind me of how I used to think because I don't think that way anymore. But they'll say things like, "Oh, like they're just not educated. Like everyone who voted this certain way is actually stupid. Like, and our country doesn't educate people on purpose to keep them stupid, and they're just dumb, and or they're ignorant, or they're hateful, or whatever it is." And of course, that doesn't answer it. If it did, we wouldn't be analyzing it over and over and over again on the news networks. And so I always think back, or I try to, even from just, I don't even have to go anywhere spiritual. I'll just, in those conversations now, I'll say, people still make this false distinction between logic and emotion. It is a totally false distinction in biology. Like your body makes decisions based on emotions. It's driven by emotions. We've already proven this, and yet it's a narrative that persists. However, and so because of that, people's decisions are driven by their emotions, but they don't acknowledge it and they don't know it and they don't understand it and they can't recognize it. And it's like the real question we should be asking is not logically like, how could this happen? Intellectually, how could this happen? It's what emotions have been spoken to in the population. I'm just using like the US election as an example, but what was evoked in them to like what spoke to them to make them vote this certain way, right? And then it goes to all to your two answers of it's the shadow, it's all your own garbage, right? That you're just like someone spoke to it because you haven't let it hasn't come up on its own, or you haven't let it come up, or it's been repressed so far that you're not even aware of it. But when someone says it and then you feel something powerful and then it moves your behavior. And it's actually pretty simple, but we can't but I mean obviously healing all of it is not simple. It's a journey. It's the hero's journey. So yeah, I think that's what I have to say.
It was good. And is that a Western thing, Mona, more? And then there are some regions or countries around the planet where people are much more just laid back and in tune.
That's a good question. I'm sure everywhere has its own version. I do think we're all connected. It's probably just showing up in different ways in other places. Um, I mean, my parents are Iranian, so I'm watching what's unfolding in Iran, and it is like what is suppressed and repressed for so long can only be suppressed and repressed for so long, right? Like until it forces, it's like the population wants to be heard. Um, so yeah, I think it's showing up different ways in different areas, but I do think we're all connected and probably over different timelines, right? It's not like everywhere has something going on all at the same time.
And we're going to get into the concept of different realities. Different groups have different realities, yet it's the same data points or they're having different experiences on the same planet. But first, I just wanted to get to the concept. It might be a Tibetan one, opening openness. Just each moment is the occasion, the now, the present moment. Eckhart Tolle does it, Chogyam Trungpa, Rinpoche. Let me see a hand of who wants to take a shot at this first. Talk to us about how the hero's journey, a big portion of it is just opening openness or being in the heart. Okay, Pontea, you're moving a lot. We're picking you.
Well, the heart is the guiding system, right? It's the compass. So the only way we'll make it through our soul development journey is if we're following the heart, right? Like a lot of the decisions that people make with the mind is going to take them down the wrong path. And to speak to Mona, yeah, we wouldn't follow our emotions. Like the heart speaks through the language of the soul, which is more of a silent feeling. It's more like the symbols, what Carl Jung talked about, the language of symbols. So if we're following the heart's language and the soul, we'll make it through our hero's journey. And the hero's journey starts over again because you'll have like the one circle around it, and then another stage of life will have another circle around it. So that's kind of what I would say is that like we got to follow the heart at this point. And then I think that we'll all end up where we're supposed to end up if we do, but not the emotions, because then that will definitely take us down more like the path of the ego, because they come from like, our traumas. Our emotions get triggered based on our traumas, our ego, our shadow, our past lives, our karmics, and all those things. But the heart has a different language, and that's kind of what I've tried to follow since I was a kid. And whenever I didn't follow it, I would always end up down the wrong path and have to have like a very big learning experience, and that happened many times too. I finally kind of was able to refine that. So I try to teach that to people when they come to me, like, how do you listen to your soul? Which a lot of it is through silence. You have to actually sit in silence every day, like an hour, 2 hours. So that's when the heart has a chance to actually speak to us and guide us. Like, maybe you should do this, or maybe you should move here. Maybe you should write this book. And then that ends up moving, first yourself at the personal level, and then at the collective level, it could really help the world because the hearts all are connected and they all speak the same language.
Marisol.
Yes, I agree with that. And I think like you said, Eckhart Tolle, and they speak about the power of now and the now moment. And I think that especially in our very busy lives and in this fast-paced world, we're so often either in the past or the future. So the past, like thinking, oh, I should have, I could have, or all that's connected to that. Or we're in the future with anxiety, what if, or what if it doesn't? And so I think when we can come back to the now moment to see where am I actually now, what am I feeling now, and to be in that presence, then we can lead our life in a way that Pontea just described, to live from our lives, to let ourselves be guided through our hearts. So I think that's something that we can really come back to in all these small moments, just to be aware of when am I drifting off again into the past, when am I way into the future, and not really present for what am I doing now. And I'm not a scientist, so I hope I explain it correctly, but I think you have the Heart Math Institute in the States, and I think they measured fields and magnetic fields, and that the field of the heart is much stronger than the one of the brain. So that doesn't mean we don't need our brain and our mind, but to come into coherence, right? And to use both in a way that serves us, and that I think that's why affirmations often don't work if we just speak them, but there's no emotion behind it, no actual belief, no experience in our body. It's just something we say. But if it doesn't move something in our field, it's not going to create that ripple effect or create that, like in quantum physics, if you'd say like the collapse of the wave function into our reality. So I think there's so much power in that, and it can sound so complex, but it's so simple in the end. Yes.
Ooh, and just for people who are longtime watchers, listeners, audience, Bruce Cryer, who was temporarily head of HeartMath, definitely involved in co-founding or helping it out. I know there was a main founder. He's been a guest to the show. People can look up Bruce Cryer. I have one quote before we go to Mona to read from Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche on the other side, 2014, Reconciled, if anyone's worried. The way to experience nowness is to realize that this very moment, this very point in life is always the occasion. Mona, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, openness has been my journey, like coming from very closed to forcing myself to open my mind. So I can attest to how painful it is. It's very painful if your whole identity is built around being right. So it's I think it's an exercise. I mean, like they said, I do think dropping into the heart, like when you're when you spend so much time in your mind and away from your heart, it can feel unsettling to go back and try to start doing that. Um, and it really is like I don't, that's also where, I don't know, some of my training as a neuroscientist came in. It was helpful, like to know how to soothe my nervous system, like, so that whenever I would even the idea of, oh, let me be open-minded to this idea, let's say, of that, I don't know, let's say interdimensional beings exist. Let's just take one of those. Like, I was not open-minded to that. And like I would have like a whole physical bodily reaction to it, like wow, like uh that's stupid, and I don't know, like it would be a whole thing. Um, but I mean, luckily I just became more and more aware. Like my body got so loud, it was so loud that I was like, this reaction to this like idea is kind of preposterous. Like I keep thinking the idea is preposterous, but I was like, maybe my reaction to it is. Um, and the only really way it was repetition was the only way I came to that was repetition. And I mean, for me, I like come from science and like core principles of science is to be open-minded, is to try different things, is to be flexible, is usually the scientist who proposes the craziest thing is, like the one who ends up being right. And so if you study the history of science, like that. So I did have that intellectually as a guiding principle when like the emotions would come up. I would be like, at some point I remember thinking, I know I'm emotionally still reacting to this stuff, but intellectually, if I ignore the evidence at this point, I'm just being a bad scientist. Like I have no integrity. And so, I mean, for me, that was the lesson in the body, and how it was restricting at least me, like from being open. And I mean, it turns out I was in the middle of a Kundalini awakening. So for me, emotions became physicalized, so I could not ignore them. But I know that's not the case for most people. So it could take like a while to notice what's going on in your body, but it's a practice, right? It's just a practice of continually one thing that I did do, because I was reading spiritual stuff at the same time as intellect, like let me read evidence, let me intellectually see if I can grapple with these concepts, was exactly what they said, meditating, quieting the mind, but you can't stop the mind, or you can, but it's hard. It's easier to just drop into the heart and like think of someone you love and just go into the love. And that's just a lot easier. Like thoughts will still come, but the feeling of love, just letting that, kind of bathe in it. And then I remember noticing too that I would get sad. Like when I would do that, like sadness would come up and sometimes anger would come up. And I started realizing those were all the things covering the like access to love. Um and, and simultaneously the access to openness. So yeah, and this is a great question because I know like I can look at the people around me and I'm like they're not open, but I understand where they're coming from. Like I get it.
Well, we're going to bounce around. Everyone's going to get a few takes or shots at the apple here. Before we go to Pontea, I'm going to read out some just random quotes, three or four, and that may be an off ramp because you're going to want to go that direction or you already have a reaction ready to go. Here are four super quick quotes. Grow your awareness, not your thinking. I think that was Native American chiefs on the other side who said it. There is no right or wrong. Group of angels who said it. There is no right or wrong. There's proper understanding. So I will pose a question to you in a moment. What is that understanding? And then a Native American chief once said around 2014, compassion is always a bigger perspective and appreciation for what already is. And we'll stop it there. Pontea, what do you have for us?
Um, I will speak to growing our awareness because, we have so many more senses than we think, right? And we think. So we have our heart telepathy sense, which is like we're in the room, we can feel everybody's heart. Or, we have telepathy with plants. We can actually like feel their energy. So I would say that is really fun for me. Like, when I go into a space, I try to feel everyone's energy. What's everybody feeling right now, for example? What are the plants like going through right now? And so when I'm outside in nature, on my nature walks, I'm connecting to the animals. Every morning I'm talking to the birds. So I would say like kind of like think of the five senses, but I heard one ascended master once say we have like 200 psychic abilities. Now I don't know what they all are because I haven't studied 200 psychic abilities, but I'm excited for all of them opening up, and I think even like dream prophecies is another sense. So we have all these different abilities that are beyond what we've been taught in the modern education. And if we allow them to open up, I think humanity is going to reach their full potential. And when I worked in the school system, it was always about keeping the kids like in line and just doing like their homework, their tests. And if they even daydream, they would get in trouble. But now we know that people that daydream are usually the people that are geniuses, because in those daydreams is where they're getting ideas, for their companies and things like that. So that's what I'll say about the senses.
I wonder who Einstein was talking to during his naps, because I think he got a lot of downloads. All right, we have two other panelists. One of them is going to pick up the conversation ball, but they get to respond or add something to the stew here. But could they also pose a question to the other two? So by stepping up, you don't have to answer the question necessarily. Do I have a volunteer? Not Pontea, one of you. It's like a game show. If you hit the button, you get to ask the question. You can share something first. One of you is getting picked in a second.
You repeat the question. I mean the quotes. I already
Ooh,
forgot them.
yes. I love it. So the quotes are helpful. Grow your awareness, not your thinking. There is no right or wrong. There is proper understanding. And then red shirt, Chief Red Shirt, Lakota Sioux Chief, historical figure passed over. Compassion is always a bigger perspective and appreciation for what already is. You can run with any of those or a reaction to any of the others, but then you get to pose a question to your other two panelists. So,
I could speak to probably the last two. I mean, it kind of goes off what I was saying about what I just said about like understanding others' reactions to things. Because in the beginning of my journey, I didn't have, or like I would fake compassion, Be like, oh, I understand where they're coming from, but like I didn't. And I was still judging them. So like I I would notice it too. I mean, I didn't notice. I mean, until it was gone. and like, so it was just doing these practices like over and over until things started to clear from my system where my behavior started to change, that I could see the shift. Because it's hard to try to like for have compassion when your heart is so hardened. You can like at least that's I feel like that's what it was like for me. It was hard to access like real compassion. Like I could fake it. I could be like I can intellectually see where they're coming from maybe, but emotionally I was like not understanding. I was definitely throwing judgment. And then it wasn't until I cleared like so much that it was that I could look back on myself and see like, oh, like I actually couldn't think differently. Or you can, it's just very hard. It just takes a lot of effort. And like most people don't have the energy for that. Like they're already struggling. Um, it's like they're on autopilot, most people, because they're so overwhelmed with like emotions that are unresolved, past traumas, and then the way life is, right? Which is in no way humane. Like our work hours inhumane, banking inhumane, everything's inhumane. Anyway, nothing's built for the human. Everything's built for something else, profits. But yeah, so they're so overwhelmed. So anyway, it took the point is like I feel like it takes like this has been my like problem too with some of the people that I've encountered on this path. Like I feel like they think that they're further along on their journeys than they actually are. And because I can feel now, but it's like I can feel them thinking they're being compassionate, but they're really not. And I totally get it. And again, it's not a judgment on that because if you can't access it, you can't access it. It's not your fault per se. Like, and it's not like something you can fix, in a day. Something could happen. You could have some sort of dramatic event where that changes for you, but for most people, it's going to be drop, like let me drop into the heart or expanding awareness. There's multiple ways to do that. But for sure, quieting the mind, dropping into the heart, and then it starts to melt everything that's over it, and then compassion comes on its own. So I think that's also that's all. The last thing I'll say is I feel like there's a lot of, oh, actually, what you said was so perfect. The Yoda thing, like, I feel like there's a lot of trying in spirituality, and a lot of people lecturing at you at what you should be doing, and then you go and try to do it. And then the truth is, like, if you just, you don't have to try to change. You can. I mean, again, you can try to change your behavior, and it does work. It's just much harder to do that. I don't know why you would bother. Like, it's much easier to drop into the heart or do like sound healing or body-based stuff, breath work and myofascial release or stuff like that. It's just easier to change from the body up, and then your behavior starts to change because your heart starts to clear, and then compassion just arises. And then suddenly, when someone says something that used to trigger you, and instead you just look at them like, I just get it. Just totally get it. And oh, I've been there. And like, you're sometimes I'm just really sad for them because, sometimes because it's from such a closed place. But yeah, that would be my comment on that.
Mona, we're going to have you ask a question of the other two. You've got a very inquisitive nature, one way or the other. So I know you're going to come up with a great question. I'm going to buy time for you. I'm going to put a quote up from Chogyam Trungpa, another one from 2014 on the other side. So I can block this screen so I can do Yoda's voice because the audience didn't hear me do it. That was before we started the show. So I'll do Yoda's voice to buy you time and I'll read another quote. But Mona, you're going to ask them both a question they'll have to answer. And you guys can read that quote, I think. Here comes Yoda's voice. Mm, do, do not. There is no try. And I'll add another angel said slowing down helps kindle compassion and creates joy. A Native American chief named Dullknife said the work along the path leads to compassion and joy. Someone said, probably an angel, blame angels always, compassion brings success. And someone else said, learn to take life really one moment at a time. Okay, Mona, what's your question? I bought you all the time in the world like a game show. The buzzer's up. What's your question for the other two panelists?
Well, I am wondering, of all the modalities or practices or things that you've tried, if there's one in particular that's been the most transform or caused the most transformative shifts for you personally.
Marisol.
So, yes, I am a sound healer, I am a singer, and I have to say, singing for me has always been my way of grounding, connecting to myself. And even for all those years on stage, I was in musical theater full time for over 2 decades. And singing is so spiritual because you need to be grounded in your body. If you have a wrong posture and your neck is up, like you're not aligned, like you have to be aligned so that your voice has space. You have to be grounded in your body. You have to breathe a certain way so that the sound kind of drops into that airflow, that pillar of air. If you don't have that pillar of air, your voice is going to crack when you sing higher, or you need to sustain that. So it's very physical singing and very spiritual. And I've always loved that, just feeling that sound of my voice. And especially it's always taken me into the now moment, because I'm a heart person, but I also have a busy mind. And when I sing, I don't think about anything. Like I'm just fully present, either when I'm on stage with the story I'm telling, or what I'm moving through with the song, or in the sound healing. It's different because I sing intuitively, so I don't know what's going to come out. Having to step back completely, and it's not about me, it's not about how I sound, but about what the person needs or the group needs, and to really step back and allow it to flow. And that also brings me into the now moment because I need to step back. So it's definitely been singing, but any kind of sound, like a singing bowl session. I love it. Just vibrations, anything with sound just really calms my nervous system and brings me into the now moment. Yes.
And hopefully we'll have a chance to hear you later because it's amazing, Pontea.
Oh, for me, I would definitely say energy healing shifted everything for me, because then I could do it on myself. Like I do it every day on myself. I'm clearing whatever is coming up. So every day I wake up, it's like, okay, this emotion's present. I gotta love it. Where is it in the body? Which chakra is it? Where is it coming from? And then, yeah, and then with my clients, I saw the same thing. When I was working in clinics doing therapy, I wouldn't see any changes in people. They just kept telling their story over and over again. But then once we brought in energy healing, they started changing. Their personality started changing. Their trauma started dissolving. And, as you all know, like energy healing goes to the subtle energy system. So it's working at the atomic level. So we're actually removing the trauma from their field. So I would say energy healing. I wish the whole world could do energy healing because then we would see a whole shift. But I think you all already know that. So, yeah.
Pontea, outstanding in your field with many sunflowers. Okay, Pontea, you've got to ask a question of the other two panelists. What do you want to ask?
Okay, so I would say, can I ask each of them a question, like two
Yes, you
separate
can split.
questions?
Yep, two separate
Okay.
ones.
Okay, so Miss Mona, my question for you is, can you explain how being open-minded, like to other scientists, how can that help us advance science?
Oh, well, I mean, it could really help a lot because we make a lot of assumptions in science. We have to run experiments, and you just have to define certain things. But because of that, um, you're locked in, right? To what you've assumed. And it's kind of like if you go back up the chain of assumptions or go back up the chain of experiments, um, the first assumption that science has made since, I think since the scientific revolution, is that we live in a physical universe and that the foundation is physical and matter. And like before, philosophy and science used to be together and then they split off. And then now, in Western, at least, education systems, the fields are very isolated. Like we don't interact with other people. Even within neuroscience, there's subfields like computational neuroscience, molecular, cellular, cognitive, and like none of us know the others' fields. And like some of my friends who studied cellular wouldn't even know certain brain anatomy that I would like mention offhand. They'd be like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "You're a neuroscientist. How do you not know what that is?" but they studied cells. So it's like we're all very isolated in our field. And if we could reincorporate philosophy, which would widen the first assumption of physicalism. So instead of assuming, so now that's never put into question. Like every science experiment you look at assumes that, although no one ever states it anywhere, no one ever tells you that that's the framework. It's never mentioned. It's so invisible. It's just the way it is. Probably because also our society is like that, but it's just assumed that it's settled and that that's fact when in truth it's not. And if you went to philosophy, you would find many other worldviews, many other frameworks that say maybe the foundation of the universe is consciousness or whatnot. You know, there's different versions. Maybe it's mind and matter. Maybe it's only mind. And the one that we've decided on for whatever reason is it's only matter. But I think that first, but they're not open-minded enough to that because we're trained from the beginning, like invisibly. Again, like totally invisibly, we're just trained that way. So when someone brings that up, they're just confronted with like total mayhem in their like world, like, what do you mean? That's not even a possibility. No one told us that was a possibility. That belongs in philosophy, not in science. And so, yeah, they would have to be more open-minded to bring in. I think the most important thing they should be more open-minded about is that bring that in because that opens up everything. But in general, for even if you're doing a regular experiment, there's just a lot of different ways to think about things. But the way that science is conducted, I remember wrote a little bit about this in my book, kind of because I was complaining about it and getting off my chest. But like the way that it's conducted, it doesn't reward innovation and it does not reward contrarian thinking. It rewards, like, you don't have to think. If you just learn how to do the system, like, you could be a scientist. It's just so boring. Like, it's mind-numbing to just do it the way they want you to do it. But yeah, if you learn the rules and play the game, it's not hard, but you will not be rewarded for innovation. Like, you won't get the grants. So they're closed-minded by design, and it's a real shame. And that's why you don't see a lot of, in my opinion, my humble opinion, a lot of actual groundbreaking innovation.
Mhm.
Mm.
Pontea, before we have you ask the next question, I just would add there's so much room for possibility and growth. I know mankind's currency right now is still knowing, the type of knowing that precludes possibility. But from my perspective, for 15 years doing this, people can have any answers to any questions, all languages spoken, all dialects, humor. You just have to have the courage to be here and actually want to listen or ask and then listen, or allow, ask and listen. And good luck with that. And it applies equally to science as it does for spirituality or any other 50 industries out there. It's just, where do you catch a human on a certain day in a certain moment? And wait till 2 Tuesdays later, you might be the most open person on the planet. So it's a twister wheel. Yeah, Twister, the game with the movements. Okay, Pontea, what's your question for?
Ms. Marisol, I would love for you to explain how sound healing helps people at the deeper level, because sound can get to things that other things can't get to. So could you explain how that works, please?
Yes, thank you. That's a great question. So, as I started describing before, when I sing for a group or a client, I really step back and I just serve as the channel for that. And my intention is always that that is received, which serves the client's highest good. Like, who am I to decide what that is, right? So I, again, try to stay as open as I possibly can. So clear on my intention, how to hold the space and how to serve as the channel, but detached from the outcome for the client. And so the beauty of it is when I sing, I feel like I step out of time. So it's like the sound moves through the quantum field in a way, and I'll see like different lifetimes pop up. It can reach these different lifetimes because it's out of time. It's a bit hard for our minds to wrap around that. But as you said, it goes to such a deep level that it reaches the physical body through the vibrations. If you wear headphones and you hear the sound, it moves through the emotional body. So people often just start crying because they release emotions. Because sound sometimes just, you don't need to express anything with words. You don't need to talk through a trauma. You don't need to move through the whole story again. You can just breathe through your heart, receive the sound, and release whatever it is that you wish to release into the sound. So there may be that release of many dense or heavy emotions that you're still carrying. It does calm the nervous system as well. It has that effect. And it can also be activating. Like if we move through a journey, and I do voice activations with people as well. So we connect to parts of them where they have stood in their power in this lifetime or others, calling back their sacred voice. And so I'll sing a transmission straight into their field of their voice. So so it really moves on these different levels in the physical and the non-physical. Yes.
I'm going to light some sage, but can we have you set up to sing? Would that be okay? And
Yeah, sure.
we'll make it an intermission or an interlude in the middle of the panel. For folks at home, I'm just going to light a little bit of sage. Doesn't matter where you are, what year it is. There's no time and space. One of our guests just said that. Quite the way we think there is. Not about thinking, but less thinking. Just be here, breathe, let go, smile. I'll tell a dad joke. I'm going to light a little sage. You can catch it in California, Germany, Tokyo, Christchurch, wherever you're at when you see this. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. An emoji counts if you're shy. You're helping others discover this very intimate channel. 3 years, 3 months, $300 earned, and 3,000 subscribers. A lot of threes. Okay, here it is, a little bit of sage smoke. If I can get the guests to just acknowledge, panelists to acknowledge when they've got a little bit of sage. Santa Monica, San Diego area, Germany. Who's got what where, and you can catch why settle for linear, which is the nature of Western civilization and all of us. You can have sage, flowers, ocean, and sparkles or glitter. Why not? Unofficially, you can breathe through your mouth a little more. If you're a professional nose breather, shoulders up and down counts as breathing to let go. And I always forget to say the only rule I've got, structure, set your intent. Ask the universe, angels, if you don't mind, to get you out of your head into your heart. Own it with a thank you, Om Saram. What else? Amen, rock and roll, whatever works for you. It's got to be your way. Pontea, you already got the sage a long time ago? Okay, that's a yes. And Marysol, you already got the sage. Yes. Mona, you're rounding us out. Now I forget.
I got it earlier. Sorry, I forgot to say it out loud.
Okay, super groovy. And Kim, I got the weirdest game from our childhood. It's association or disassociation. I think we're doing association, but we're going to stop when someone fumbles it a little, but I'll start it and we're going to go Brady Bunch style. It'll be Pontea, Mona, Marysol. But as soon as somebody fumbles, we're getting her to sing based off of obviously her intuition, where her heart's taking her today, the universe coming in, her flowing divine energy to all of us. But the word I'm starting with is love. And so I go to Pontea. What's an associated word with love? We're giving her a little grist for the mill.
Tenderness.
Okay, Mona.
Daisy.
That works. Marysol.
Cosmic waters.
Kindness.
Warmth.
Perfect.
Lightning.
And we're building up the chi here, and we're going to
Ease.
turn it over. Perfect. Is that ease?
Ease, yes.
Ease. I love it. Kindness. Did I just say that earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
there it is. I goofed. I get so vacuous or vapid, whatever. I don't even know how to say those words correctly right now. That I just blew the game. So I lost, but we all win because she's going to start singing. And I hope some of those words and the laughter, at least on the spontaneity here, helped. So I'll sit tight, and thank you very much for doing this. I know you didn't know you were going to perform a little, but I know everyone's going to love this. So thank you.
That's good. My microphone is always ready. All right, so if you like, you can take a deep breath in. And I ask for a transmission for the group field for all tuning in now or at a later date to receive this transmission of codes of light and light information into your heart. And may this transmission be filled by codes of compassion, vibration of love, of peace, of sovereignty, and anything else that is needed for you personally to flow with the sound and reach you on all the levels that you meant to be reached at today. So just breathe in the sound, relax, and receive. Take another deep breath in. Breathe out deeply. And welcome back.
Pontea, how was that for you?
Wow. Like, oh my goodness, so beautiful. I felt like I was like in an ethereal, heavenly world, and like Divine Mother was singing to all of us. It was just so beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
And Mona, how was that?
It was beautiful. It was like, yeah, like I went somewhere else and now we're back. It was nice.
And Marisol, could you describe what was flowing through you at the word level for us?
So it was really incredible because the three of you, you're such beautiful beings and you're so powerful. And I felt like the way this space is held by all of you, it just expanded that movement of how I could follow the stream of energy of my voice. Like it was connected to the field that we're holding here. And so it was very loving, but there was like a drive beneath it, like a joy and a power, but with lots of kindness and just genuine wanting others to be okay and seen. And and just, yeah, this kindness and gentleness for each other. I felt very moved in my heart. So in the beginning, I had to really breathe because it came flowing in so quickly, and to give it a moment to then follow the energy.
Well, you didn't skip a beat. We wouldn't have known you were receiving a lot. We're going to do a Texas two-step here. The first step is I'm going to just show a little bit of light. But where we're headed with this is we're all going to put our hands up, only love and above and a little bit, not our bill paying side, not our analytical side. So we're going to have to hang a lot of stuff up on the wall for a second and just be in our hearts. We'll feel what we feel, but each of you will then share something more out of all that. All we're doing is getting you to the kitchen, Michelin, 5-star restaurant. You're already professional chefs. We'll see what dishes are made for the audience. I'm going to go to this as the background. Blue sky is great. I'm going to do that Celestine prophecy thing, but as Sue Frederick, I always cite her, said a year and a half ago, hey, in the 1970s before the movie was made, we were doing it this way to see light. And in India, they do it this way. So I'm going to show a little bit of light. You only have to see with your heart, see with all of you, do the Zen thing, seeing without seeing. Most importantly, you get a dad joke, 50-50. You've heard this one before, but that's okay. And does it sound good for all of you? Are you okay with just seeing a little bit of light? Okay, good. Allow, no triota. I don't have to do his voice again, but here's the dad joke. What's the only flower found on the human face? Tulips or iris as well. It's a backup in case you have a really pesky fourth grader, and they've got the answer, say iris. You'll nail them every time. Okay, here's a little bit of light. I'm leaning way forward. Okay, and just allow, no triota, see with all of you, ask angels to get you out of your head into your heart if you need extra help. And there'll be a little filament of light. And Pontea, what are you seeing for light between my fingers? Is it a color, multiple colors?
Yeah, I'm kind of just seeing like a white swirling, it's like a spiraling between your two fingers.
Okay, and everyone is on some point on the consciousness scale, so no one's necessarily going to see the same color. Mona, what are you seeing right now?
A flame.
Okay, and then Marisol, what are you seeing?
I also saw a spiraling motion with kind of like greenish and gold on the sides.
Okay, I'm going bigger. Just allow the universe, loving beings of all different types to make an object in there. It could be a musical note, flower, wine bottle. It could be anything. We've had 2 red cardinals, 2 phoenixes, Jesus's face. It's been everything by now. Pontea, what are you getting for anything extra? It just might be more light. What are you seeing?
That looks like a donut.
You win the prize. You're invited back anytime you want. Okay, Mona, what are you getting?
A fairy.
Aw, you too. Special. These are 2 special answers. Marisol, no pressure after those 2.
Yeah, really. It's just like a golden grid, but kind of like in a wing structure.
Okay. And I don't know why my pinky's sticking out. That's okay. If you could cup hands in your lap off camera, like you're in the shower capturing water, that's fine. Let this light, each of it, go into your hands, start to feel it, and you'll look down fully when you're engaged on your own light in your hands from this whole exercise. I can sit down then and breathe. And then if you could just bring it into your heart, get inspired, allow the universe to really reach you in that extra who knows which way. And then we'll put our hands up, only love and above, and angels will supervise for us, loving beings of light. What am I saying? Light beings too. So I'm going to put first hand up, second hand up. Again, not my bill paying side. If everybody else could put their hands up as well. And we're going to get all of you talking again in just a second. Let's play the game. Who's feeling it most right now? Pontea, Marisol, Mona. Which one of you wants to talk?
We're all feeling.
All right, Pontea, you're selected. What are you feeling?
I'm feeling movement, like tingling all over both of my hands, and like a swirling wave in the center, kind of like a little tornado.
I love it. Okay, Mona, what are you feeling? And are you feeling it in your body as well?
Oh, I mean, I'm in the middle of a Kundalini awakening, so I feel my whole body all the time. But yeah, my hands are burning, and yeah, I see it like a lotus.
Ooh, Marisol.
It's like pulsating in my palms, and it kind of went through my hands, and I felt it in my entire spine.
Ooh. And I'm going to go one-handed so I can hold up a microphone that's down below today. I'm going to blow and whoosh a little, but we're going to have someone else follow suit in just a second. Here comes the blowing and whooshing. We're blaming angels. Don't blame Canada. Just allow, allow, allow. No triota. Here it goes. And folks at home, you can receive all with a capital A. Who knows what that is, but it's not as good as the singing we had before. But we don't compare or contrast, even though this is a panel. So we're not comparing. I'm off the hook. Pontea, what'd you just get with that little extra whoosh?
Oh, like an ocean moving through.
I can't invite you back. You've already been invited back, but I would. Okay, Mona, what'd you get?
Yeah, it just felt like a tunnel of air, but nice air coming at me.
Not a air freshener in the back of the car. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Marisol, what'd you get?
It's like a combination of what both of you said, like an ocean breeze. It's just like whew, very colorful. Yeah.
Okay, and now can we tap you there in Germany to also just spontaneously, just a few notes and a little whoosh. So a micro moment of your amazingness.
A micro moment whoosh. Okay, coming up. Oh, yeah,
Pontea, how was that?
Nice. I love it when she opens her mouth. Everything is tingling all over my hands. It's
Mona, how about them apples?
Yeah, I had a like full body shiver.
Okay, everybody can put their hands down now. But did one of you not ask questions? Marisol, have you asked questions to the other two panelists?
No, not yet.
Okay, let's have you do it and pick your victim.
Okay, I'll start with you, Pontea. So I'm curious, you said you worked with children, right?
I have, yes, I do still, yeah. Yes.
Okay. So especially like with the kids in these school systems, and I think they're all pretty bad in most countries. I know it's really bad here in Germany. Like if parents, if they're aware that their child is like very open and like really does not fit into the system at all, I mean, most don't, but like a child that's very open, sensitive, and you can clearly tell is just so wrong in that system. Do you have any advice for those parents, how they can support their child even if they have to move through the system? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I would, in America, they can get IEPs, which is like individual education, like programs. Like I used to be a special ed person in the school. So kids that were highly sensitive, I would like be able to give them tools, because like, for example, there was one kiddo and he would just run out of class because he was an empath. So the moment he would feel everyone's emotions, he would just run around, and go outside. So I would give him like cards, which he could turn over. He's going from yellow to green. So then the teachers could kind of know and like help them. So they need extra tools, If they're going to be in the traditional school system, they need to have like more sexual education support. They'll diagnose them, unfortunately, which I'm like 100% against because I really don't like labels of any kind. To be honest, in terms of psych diagnosis, but they definitely are going to need the support. My suggestion would be take them out of the traditional school system and try to put them in like charter schools or these new schools or homeschool them. And some parents worry about the homeschool because they're like, oh, they're not getting socialization. But then you can pair up with other parents that are homeschooling, and they can do like, like I know some people they'll have it where like the parents will take them to the science museum and then another one will take them to the art gallery. So they're still kind of getting that sort of community and the other parents are each taking like leadership because it is hard for them to be in the traditional school system. Like I don't know how it was for you girls, but for me, it was really hard to go through the traditional school system. I just kept wanting to leave, every day. And it was like just always one teacher in every year that kind of kept me going. That was like, tuned in. And so I would say like have a lot of compassion for them. Like I'm working with two kiddos right now that like they're not doing well. So we've kind of like I do a feng shui for them in their rooms because sensitive kids, their space needs to be very feng shui, like clear, the colors they're like, and like organization. Because the kids that are psychic, it's hard for them to be organized sometimes, for example. So there's like a lot to it. But yeah, it's a great question. That always like hurts my heart for them.
Yeah, and in Germany, you're not allowed to homeschool. So here,
Oh, yeah.
you can't do it here. It's one of the countries where you're not allowed to, so that's pretty rough. Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's Dr. Elaine Aron. She has a book called Parenting Highly Sensitive Children.
Mhm.
And there's like a chapter on each, like for education system, for dealing with medical doctors. Because
Oh,
the
okay.
kids, for example, their pain is going to be a lot more intense, you know? So the doctors are like, well, that shouldn't be hurting that much. It's like, well, this kid is high sensory, so their pain is going to be a lot more intense. So in the book, it says how to talk to the professional so they kind of can understand your
Mhm.
child. And I like her research a lot. She
And
says
she
25% of the population is highly sensitive, is what she's saying, which is interesting.
she's been around a long time too, sort of pioneered the whole thing. So
Yeah.
you have a question for Mona as well.
Yes. So, what would you say, like, for people that are very science-based and that they have a hard time believing things they can't see or touch, but like something is starting to break open and they're having a hard time with letting go maybe of how they thought the world was, and yet there's that part that wants to explore and that are having trouble with bridging those worlds, like, but if there is a willingness, like, what would you say would support their path if they're at that point?
Um, I mean, for the intellectual part, what I did was, because I went straight to the scientific studies, I went to the evidence, like, is there evidence for psychic phenomena? Is there evidence for reincarnation? And then I went and found, the studies that had been done.
Mhm.
But in the beginning, it's like I would read all that stuff in a day, decide, okay, it's possible. Then I would go to bed and then I would wake up and then I would not believe it again. And so then I would have to review it. And it was like over and over and over again. So then what I started doing was some of the pieces of evidence, whatever, like it could have even just been a story, but it didn't have to be a study. But whatever moved me profoundly and convinced me, I would print out like a summary of it or something. And I have like a cork board by my desk. And so I would pin it up. And so there was like I had a number of those that were like constant reminders of actual evidence. So that was for intellectual me. And then emotionally, I just kept returning to, what is the feeling? Look, I kind of ask myself, like, okay, let's just imagine I became like whatever my biggest fear was at the time. Someone who believed in angels. I don't know, like some that would have been my biggest fear, I'm just saying. Something like that. I'm like, and let's just jump ahead to that's true. Um, and so I kind of focused on that feeling of like, what am I feeling? And what would come up. And it would be like, I don't know who I am. Everyone would think I'm crazy. They're going to think I'm stupid. No one's going to take me seriously. I worked so hard for this degree and I'm just going to throw it away. Like, so I would listen to what would come up. And in the beginning, those were part of my identity. Like that was part of me. But when you keep looking at those things enough times, they just start to dissolve.
Mm.
And so they just started to dissolve. And so, I mean, that's what I recommend. It's kind of like, what does it mean to you? Um, like, if just imagine like the version of yourself that you're so afraid of and pretend that's true. And what does it mean to you to be that person? Like, what are you afraid of? You're gonna lose all your money, all your friends, all your family, like your respect of your peers? What is it? Um, and then, like just sitting with that because you can try to intellectualize your way around it, which I certainly did. But like I said, intellectualizing only works to some degree. Like the only thing that really worked for me was just keep revisiting it emotionally until it subsided.
Mhm.
And I wasn't even aware that that's what was happening. That was just something that I did and that happened. So I recommend that.
Can I get reactions from both of you? Pontea, what's your reaction?
I love that answer. I love that answer because that's what a lot of people are going to have to go through when they go from the old world to the new world. I call it like the birth canal, as Marisol was saying. So it's going to be facing all those things Mona said. And I love that answer of like observing it, loving it, and then what's the worst thing that can happen? What are people going to say? And now it's kind of like I only want people who love the real me anyways, and this is the real me, So if people are going to like hate that I don't like to diagnose people. That's okay. Like, to each their own. So,
And
yeah.
before we go to Marisol, I've got two quotes. One from passed over Karl Hammerschlag, graduated from Yale Medical School, doctor, but thought he knew everything. And then he later became a psychologist, so kind of dual role, full on, a lot of learning. But when he had a medicine man adopt him, and he has Dancing Healers, a beautiful book. Each chapter will make you cry or laugh, mostly cry, healing stories. But he had a medicine man take him under his wing and show him. I think even during one of those ceremonies, dark setup with the fire, I'm going to lose my English here. You hear the rattle, and there's no way the man's on the other side of the dark setting, the ceremonial thing with the wood. The rattle hit him in the square right here. This is the universe saying, dude, wake up. There's a lot more to learn and appreciate than what you think you know. I have two quotes to give to Marisol. One is from Karl Hammerschlag, and the other one I've already forgotten, but I'll find it. Okay, here. If you have to be sure of what you're experiencing in the now, you will always subordinate reality of present to the certainties of past. I thought that was relevant. It's sort of the safety blanket. The other one is just love is in everything. Open your eyes to find love. Marisol, what's your reaction to anything and everything that we've been talking about today?
Oh, wow. Okay. um, well, yeah, something you said now with those quotes. We do filter through our experience and what we've gone through in the past. And I think it's up to us to let that go and to be open to new experiences. And just because it's been a certain way doesn't mean it has to be like that again. Like if we can drop our own filters, because of course we speak out of our experience and our beliefs. And if we give advice, we also filter through our experiences. So to have an awareness for that and also not be afraid to maybe go beyond those filters. Like, what if it's different this time? What can my experience be like now? So to also have that curious beginner's mind. I think, is it Rumi that said, it's not about, or what did he say? It's about unlearning. Unlearning is the highest form of learning, something like that. And I think that's true because we can also get caught up in, oh, I need to fix this, I need to do that, and this timeline and this ancestor, and I need to heal and I need to fix myself. And we're so busy with all of this. But if we can tune into those moments where we just drop all of that and it's just about being, and then move from that space into whatever needs to be taken care of, I think that things can move a lot easier and a lot quicker. So, yeah, all that we've spoken about, I think it is this time where we're called to reclaim who we are, to not be afraid of who we are. And like Pontea said, to be ourselves, and that doesn't have to resonate with everyone. Like we can be who we are, and then we will attract those people who it resonates with. And it doesn't have to resonate with someone else, but that doesn't mean we have to judge each other. And we can say, I honor your path, I honor mine, and be blessed on your path. So I think we use these terms a lot, love and compassion, but if we really go into what that actually means, that is what this time is about. I do believe that.
And each of you are going to do a rapid fire lightning round response to the following maybe 6 sentences. I think it's from angels, collective group of angels, but it's what you were just saying, Marisol. Being is believing in all. You do not need to be like anyone else. Be you. Smile more, think less. Do not permit others to dictate your well-being. Own your own being in life. Love more and allow more. You can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason. Marisol, what's your reaction to that?
I have a feeling this came out when we spoke last. I'm not sure, but allowing just jumped out at me again, which it does a lot lately for me as well. That, again, being so busy, and we all, we have so many things to take care of, and we're so much in the doing, and I think we've collectively forgotten how to allow to a certain extent, and that comes in with feeling worthy also, because we have all these layers around ourselves, like I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm not worthy, or whatever it is individually. But to come back to, at our core, we're not broken. We are whole at that core underneath all those layers that we've accumulated. And why should I not be worthy of receiving something? We all are. So to step out of this busyness and open that space so that we can allow, and open our perspective of or release an attachment to how that may come. Maybe it'll come in a completely different way. So I think there's sometimes it can feel, what's the English word, contradictory? Is that the right word? Yeah. On the one hand, it's all this stuff about manifestation and thinking big and having grand visions and the money codes and all of this. And on the other hand, release your attachment, like release the how and the when. But I do think it goes together. So think big in a way that you trust yourself, that you're capable of anything, and that we all carry this potential in ourselves, but then not get caught up on the details. And maybe there is a bigger plan, or there is something being woven that takes a bit longer than we think it should. So I think those two do come together, the envisioning, the intention, but also that release and an allowing of things to then take shape.
Brilliant. And Mona, I've got a Winnie the Pooh quote for you as an easy out, so I don't have to reread that passage. But to Pontea, I've got a different quote from Jesus like 10 years ago. Compassion is here for all. I'll read it backwards. A person need only be open to receive. A new consciousness emerges. Details are not so important. Love is love. And could you react to that or any part of what Marisol just said or the original quote? And hopefully people saw that and stuff like that. What's your reaction?
Okay, so openness, because like what I get from that is just remaining open and allowing the grace of God to come in, because that's what shifts our consciousness. Like I like kind of like what Marisol was saying. I used to think it was like we have to heal all these things. Once I figured out all the things we had to heal, I was trying to go down the list and heal everything. But then I realized, no, it's only God that decides when we shift into a new state of consciousness. So if we're open and we ask for the grace, then those shifts can happen and we just kind of go into higher states of love, which there's so many, that we can keep climbing up. So
It's like Tom Hanks at FAO Schwartz in the old movie from the 80s, Big, where he's jumping up and down on the piano keys with someone else. But it's endless piano keys, both directions. You can be closed, limits, no limits, or to be or not to be. Mona, the Winnie the Pooh quote, Piglet asks Winnie the Pooh, how do you spell love? I mean, true scientist, Piglet. And then Winnie the Pooh nailed it. You don't spell it, you feel it. Okay, talk to us
Oh,
where your heart takes you right now.
that's so cute. I love Winnie the Pooh. Um, yeah. I think I don't know, this is what's coming up is I at least on this journey, like, it's interesting because you do forget who you are, and then something simple and at least, oh, for me, like on the science path, we also, or graduate school, I should say, you learn that you should not have any pleasure or joy, that you should be working all the time, and that if you're not working all the time, you'll never graduate. And like, it's a very austere environment. And so actually every quote that you read, I was like thinking about, I guess, um how much like that can be covered, like the ability to feel joy and love and compassion. It can, at least for me, it was covered with all these shoulds, right? Should do this, shouldn't do that, whatever. And like all that undoing it took to be able to like sit and enjoy Taylor Swift's Eras tour on TV without feeling guilty, okay? Like, and just really sink into the joy of the moment, and like it actually took practice for me, which not like it was hard because like I love this, but you would feel the like, oh, but I should go clean whatever, I should be doing whatever. And just being like, no, like I'm enjoying this, like, and just letting go and singing along. It'll bring you into the moment and bring you out of that. But that's kind of what I think about like healing journey sounds so like ominous and hard, and it is, but some of it is like those really, joyful moments of like, I love Winnie the Pooh and I love Disney and I love Taylor Swift and like finding all that again.
I like our song August. It's part of the Eros tour. I had to look that up because I didn't know. So I had to admit that. I've got an angel photo, light energy form, whatever. Take it for what you will. I think privately or in the other shows you guys have done, we've done this. We're just going to do a quick lightning round. I'm going to put up an angel joy for Marysol in Germany. And could you just get something private, get a hug, get a whoosh? But could you get something for public consumption? And hear what a doozy your singing's been so far today. Oh my goodness. What's joy? This is an angel joy, the emotion joy, high peppy voice. People can close their eyes, see you're standing on a beach in front of you. You can look out a window full on. It doesn't matter if there's a photograph or not. There's a million ways to have an angel or a being of light is pure love. Who cares about definitions as well? That's been popping up a lot lately in the last month. They're way beyond no thinking. And so imagine that. And they're still learning from us. Imagine that. Even though from our perspective, they're perfect and have all the answers technically. Whoops. Okay, Marisol, I bought as much time as I could. What's joy have for all of us? And what's her reminder?
So I just heard don't be afraid of your own sound, and sound meaning it can be your vibration, it can be your expression. Like we all have our unique frequency, have our unique vibration, how we are in this world, in the cosmos. So to not be afraid of that and to embrace the light of it, the darkness of it, to stop judging yourself so harshly for all the little things, and to not be afraid of your sound. And your sound is all that you are, right? It's all of you. If you ring a bell, you don't leave out a little part. It's not going to ring fully. But maybe this big bell, I don't know, just getting that bell image, maybe part of it is a bit darker, and this part is maybe really shiny gold, but still you need the entire bell to ring. So yeah, that's the image I got.
And only to confuse things more, that's what a host does sometimes. The unstruck bell out of India. Let's ponder that. I have 4 rainbow pie slices for you, Pontea, 4 archangels, but you can have as many as you want. There's more off camera. I cropped it. Have all the archangels come in. Have these 4. It's Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. Get a beautiful love, hug, vibration. Hear bells. Why not? There's no limits, so ignore me. But if you could get something for all of us at the end, that'd be fantastic. And then just to give a tip to Mona, I'm coming in with Carl Jung for you. He's a sweetie, unconditional love figure. I'll have a beautiful historical figure while Pontea is doing that. I'll sneak the peek of the photo. He'll share something with you in just a second. It's a cute photo. And you can have an angel if you want. You'll let us know. Pontea, what are you getting for all of us?
I saw like a purple lightning storm, which was interesting. And then I got this message that everything is spiritual. So when we're drinking our tea, when we're eating our pie, when we're eating our food, like that can all be like spiritual and enjoyable, And so that's kind of what they were saying. They were saying like bring joy into eating every single day, whatever you're consuming, bring joy into it.
Well, that's almost like Peace is Every Step, Thich Nhat Hanh, the little book that I love that little book. Carl Jung or Thich Nhat Hanh, Mona? Do you have a choice, a preference?
Carl Jung.
Okay. Here's Carl Jung for you. And you can close your eyes, you can open your eyes at home, you can put a hand up and feel the vibe. What will you allow for is the daily rub. Forget spirituality, angels, and the universe. Just what are you allowing for? Are you even getting outside? When you tell your dog you're going to take him for a walk, do you take him for a walk? It can be a month for a good human to get past their thinking to actually start walking their dog 3 times in a day. Good luck with that. And what are you getting from Carl Jung?
A pineapple. Which I took to mean like vacation, like that sense of like sweet, not only like, delicious sweetness from the pineapple, but the imagery of like somewhere exotic, I guess. Yeah, and like that quiet, warm, like perfect warm, quiet, serene, calm.
I was going to say there's the pineapple in Nantucket. There's pineapples there just because there's a huge Pacific influence. But Hawaii has got Nantucket beat. Nantucket's good for July and August, and then Hawaii, man. That's what you just described.
Oh, I love Hawaii. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to start to wrap this up, but to do so, let me just get you all back on some of the key big picture themes for mankind. First of all, is mankind ready for more kindness, compassion, and a little less rat race? And I would argue it's not the big banks, it's not the complexities or ballistic missiles, it's not the elite taking over this or that or censorship and all the rest. It's up here for each of us. How do we do 10% less thinking, to quote an angel named Charlotte, who said that's the Olympic gold medal for all of us. So is mankind ready for some more compassion, kindness, gentleness? Marisol.
Yes, I think so, definitely. And I think it's in the little moments, or that we call little moments, like in everyday life, the encounters we have, just to have an awareness for others. Can we hold the door open? Can we offer someone a smile? Is someone lacking a euro or a dollar at the cashier? Or, you know, these little things. I think if we all pay attention to the little things, that amplifies and it becomes the big thing. So, yes, definitely.
And here we have deer galore. It's how do I say it? I've never seen a baby deer that's the size of a basketball, like literally so small that we have a 5-inch wide, the spindles on a metal fence. The baby deer was so small, able to walk through our fence. I didn't know. I opened the back door, I get onto the patio. I startled the baby deer. The baby deer startled me. He turned around and then jumped one and then went back through the fence. I was like, oh my God, nothing's that small that could come through our fence. But I've got pregnant mama deer here. I'm throwing carrots every day for God knows how long now. So carrots, delivery to carrots, that's my special moment each day, and to hungry adults as well. Pontea, I bought as much time as I could. Start to close us out here about mankind, compassion, and each of us on that hero's journey.
Yeah, for sure, humankind is ready because we're seeing a lot of more people being interested in spirituality as a whole. I was looking at a study yesterday, and like the increase in spirituality is increasing, which shows that as the pain is and the darkness is increasing, people are seeking out the right things, you know? And I've noted like Gen Z doesn't drink alcohol anymore. So it seems like the consciousness is shifting. People are starting to go towards the thing that are better. At least there's a big group that is. So I'm very hopeful about humanity's future. I know it like doesn't maybe look logical, but when I feel into the future, I do see a golden future. I just think it's a little bit ahead. It's not like tomorrow, but I think we're seeing glimpses of it. Because just look at all the YouTube podcasts on spirituality, for example. Those didn't exist 10 years ago. So that's like evidence that we are moving in the right direction.
And Pontea, you're not off the hook. I've got Joseph Campbell for you in just a second, or Joe. And he's a fantastic advisor, so you'll get something special from him. But this is one of those public service announcements again. Wonderful guests here. Their details are going to be below this video. Subscribe, like, share, but comment. Who's resonated most with you? Who made you laugh? Which moment got you? By just sharing a little, you're helping 10 other people see this eventually on YouTube or elsewhere. We're on Spotify as well, starting to get that. Here's Joseph Campbell, St. Lawrence professor of myth and lots of other stuff, mythology. Pontea, what are you hearing from Joe for all of us?
He was a pioneer in speaking about the divine feminine consciousness. You know, he wrote the book on like the goddesses. And so he was so ahead of his time talking about that. So I have so much respect for him. And then another thing he always said was follow your bliss. And I remember I wrote that on my graduation cap, you know, because I just wanted to remember that like that was going to be the path. And so it is like the bliss, the soul. It's like when we're doing the right things, you know. So he's just amazing. He's one of my heroes. I've learned so much from him.
And I have Plato. I actually have a photograph of Plato for you, light energy form. You can see the old man's face in there in just a second. This is for Mona. We're having you close out with Plato. You can see a nose, eye, beard, and he's super crisp and clear in his communication. If anybody has life stage questions, anyone not seeing the old man's face, he doesn't mind me saying that, by the way. Can you see the philosopher's face is how I should say it, but
Yes.
okay. So go ahead and close your eyes. Let Plato come in however you wish. And just allow, no triota. Always try Archangel Gabriel. They're both correct. There's no contradiction. It's not about words. and Plato will share something with you privately, and then just a little reminder for all of us to help us walk a smoother path. Mona Sobhani, you are totally intuitive. I love your heart. I love your listening ability. What'd you get for all of us?
Yeah, interesting. It's funny because before you showed me that, I was gonna like what was coming up was that oftentimes service to others gets you out of yourself, and like I do think, yes, to answer your question, I think humanity has been ready for more kindness, like, and definitely needs more. And I remember, and I was just thinking, like you don't have to do big gestures. I think sometimes when you hear service to others, like if you live in Western society or at least in America, like you can contract because you're like, I don't have time for that. Like I'm already stressed out. But and I was going to talk about that. But then when you showed me the Play-Doh thing, I actually I was just telling this person I was working with, we were me and a collaborator were trying to tell her, you know, when we say acts of kindness to yourself, I think people can also kind of cringe and be like, I don't have time for a bath, or I don't have time for a sound bath, or all these things. And we were trying to tell her actually the smallest act can change something. And I'm like, literally, if you're at the grocery store and you buy yourself something, be that like, like I love this. It makes like for me, it's gummy bears. Okay. So if I love gummy bears, I love anything gummy. I don't buy them all the time, so I don't turn into a diabetic, but like I I will buy that as a special gift to myself sometimes. And we were telling her like you just need to do something like that, small. It's just an act saying I matter too, right? And you can even do it with the intention of like, I may be too overwhelmed to run out and volunteer somewhere right now. And that's another thing no one ever tells you. You don't have to be like service to others forever, like for every minute of your whole life, right? Like there are times when you should not do that, where you should rest and you should heal. And then when you are healed, then you can go out, right, and help others. That's why I think like acts of kindness to yourself, and it can be something so small, like buying gummy bears. Um, but it really shifts, I think, energy.
And I'll add the avocado dance at the supermarket. Get in front of a section of avocados and do the chubby checker or Elvis. Swing those hips for no reason. You got to have some panache, if I said it correctly, or a little verve. But that enthusiasm will be contagious. You'll get at least half the section laughing, not knowing why. You got to stay your course or you're going to run out of the supermarket and not ever touch anything on your list. You'll never go back there again, by the way. So just let go, let it fly, and it could be just a smile or something else. Here's Min, a my guardian angel, but Dr. Karen Wyatt's guardian angel, episode 110, August 30th of 2024, retired physician. She got to meet her as a human on Redondo Beach, so take that, skeptics out there. And saw her as a little kid in bed as an angel in white. That is your last photo here, Marisol. She's very oceany, light waves of energy and water from Sirius background. If people want to go galactic for a second, that throws a wrench in everything now. But an angel who's very loving. What are you getting from Min for all of us? And are you feeling it?
Yes, definitely. So I think that Syrian light has been so present and so helpful and so supportive. And for all those that it resonates with, there's so much value in remembering our cosmic origins, if that's something that resonates with you, because there's such a in that deep remembrance lies so much of what we're meant to remember at this time. So yeah, just feel and see this beautiful blue light in different shades just flooding the space. Yeah, so don't be afraid to go into contact with your star family. It doesn't have to be like the full-on physical experience that many people have had, for sure, but it can be so much more subtle, and to be open for that, to receive that subtle communication on the inner planes, and allow yourself to be guided by that.
Well, we're going to ask you to sing in just a second to close us out, but everyone's going to get a final chance to speak with a mantra. You'll repeat it 3 times at the end. It could be anything from, we just had I love you the other day from Dr. Reverend Bill McDonald. He said, I love you, I love you, I love you. So you can't use that one, but you'll repeat the mantra 3 times. I'm going to buy a little time for Marysol before she sings with her permission. I'll just add, remember to remember, if you can remember, to remember, when you remember. Good luck with that. It's always some thinking popping in. You always know something. But on the other hand, it's like a broken clock. You're right twice a day with the hands stuck. You'll always be good in your heart. Okay, Marysol, did I buy enough time for you? Do you mind singing a last little something for us?
Sure. Just get the setting right. There we are. Yes, that's right. Whew. All right, just take a deep breath in. May you receive exactly as you're meant to. Just breathe in the sound, relax your body, and allow yourself to receive. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. Uyorayano anoyamo. Anoirayano kuriano terianaya. Uno anoyano anoriano anocariato. Turiano yano anoreia joria iaro. I am that I am. I am. Uriayano joreia jai. Kuriaya toriaya jorai. Toyoreia. Kurojaya. Uno enoreia jaya jamoreia. Uno aritaria. I am. I am And take one more deep breath. Breathe out deeply. And so it is.
Incredible. I'll read a quick passage and then we're going to get a mantra from each of you. If you could repeat it 3 times to give our guests, our audience, the chance to feel your energy in the privacy of their own balcony, patio, apartment, park, whatever, subway in New York. They could put their hands up to the screen and even feel your vibe because you're going to repeat something fun or prophetic or just amazing. I'm going to read just 7 sentences. Breathe more fully. Feel the universe. Absorb insight from within. Relax and learn. Awaken to a bigger reality. Give and share love. Understand in your own way at your pace that everything really is connected and you are unique. Pontea, we've delayed as much as we could. We've done singing, dancing practically. What's your mantra for all of us? But you got to repeat it 3 times if you could.
Feeling my feelings fully allows me to embody my highest consciousness. Feeling my feelings fully allows me to embody my highest consciousness. Feeling my feelings fully allows me to embody my highest consciousness.
Wow. Wow. Nice. Mona, I'm sorry to put you right after that one, but you're going to have a good one.
Mine's just one word. It's just sway, 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 sway.
Marisol.
Allow the cosmic waters of my soul to flow. I allow the cosmic waters of my soul to flow. I allow the cosmic waters of my soul to flow.
Well, thank you all. You're incredibly special guests. This is an incredibly special moment. I'm really appreciative of this, and hope you'll all come back sometime again, maybe even the end of this year to do this again. We'll see. Thank you again, everybody. I hope you had fun.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So good to meet all of you. Thank you.